you cannot handle real work, reality talk, 80+ language, simply skip the video.
This video is going to be about that I think that there is multiple universes for you available. For the better or for the worse, but there are. And I personally went through multiple stages of my life. 3 times lost everything. Lived a very colorful life with a lot of ups and downs. Extreme ups and downs where most people would say, no, I would probably hang myself. But anyways, I didn't. So I can talk about this from real life. And maybe you can take something away from it. Maybe you're working for a better future. Maybe you can listen to this video to see something confirmed that it is over there and that it is possible. And maybe you think that there is nothing that looks good anymore in your life. Maybe it's also for you that I can give you some tips and tricks that might change your perspective of life and maybe your entire future. Maybe it changed your whole course of life. So let's get into it. Like I said, I've been homeless 3 times. Actually, the last 2 times was pretty bad. The last one was also bad, but very short. But anyway, what can you do to change the outside world? Well, first of all, I do believe every single human on this planet has his own or her own perspective on life. You got the grumpy people, you got the people who are fake happy, but everything I do believe has some sort of a middle line. There is not one size fits all, but I do believe there is a state of mind available that keeps you somehow somewhat balanced between happy, purposeful, but also see the joy of life no matter what the circumstances are. And I am 46 at the moment, and I do believe that I am that state of mind that I actually, no matter the circumstances are, I always enjoy every single second, no matter what, and no matter what is coming towards me. And also, I'm going to be very honest, at the moment there are adversities at play that are above average. I'm not getting too deep into it, but that doesn't mean that they can take away 1 single second of the day that I'm not enjoying, that I'm breathing, that I put in the disciplines, and that I'm working on my purpose. So, is this all about me? No, I'm just telling you that it is possible. Even at an age of 46, I'm 46. Within 2 months I'm 47. So anybody who comes up with excuses, I'm too old, Dahlan, not true. I'm too young, not true. I'm always saying to 25-year-olds when they've considered to start a business, I always say, you're already way too late, hurry up. And if you hang around with people that would say, yeah, you shouldn't do that, you know, your growth stops. So my vlogs are all about growth. By the way, let's stick to the topic a little bit, which I'm always having a little bit trouble with. By the way, I'm shooting this with a new camera. If you saw it yesterday, yesterday's vlog, I talked about the new milestone in this whole vlogging journey. You know, there's a whole different story. So I actually, with my vlogging journey, you can see my change of character, probably, maybe also change of the way I speak. Maybe still somehow you will keep deep down your main character, right? But you try to adapt. That's what I try to do. You know, I try to communicate better with the world, and like this on the vlogs. And now from today I'm gonna start streaming, and I think I start today with 1 hour, but like this you can actually see. That's why I keep everything as real as possible in my vlogs, so people can go through a timeline at one point when there are thousands of videos. People can never say about me, look, he said this over there, his whole perspective is totally different in this video and in this video. No, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this video, this specific vlog, is gonna be stick also as close as possible to reality. Never lie to yourself. You can lie to the rest of the world, but when you look in the mirror, you brush your hair. If you got hair, you brush your teeth. If you got those, you face yourself. And this is the danger about lying. When you lie, you close doors of opportunity. And I am a big believer in the universe just provides you with what you give or what you're willing to put in. So for example, you lie a lot, you close all the doors of opportunity for a better future. Not so much you closing the doors for negative influences. That's another story. So, simple trick, and I'm always saying this, and I'm now speaking to the people who think that the whole world is going to hell, that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Try to give a compliment once per day. And like I always say, nobody ever went to jail for giving too many compliments. And the thing is, maybe you're so negative that you think, what is the benefit of this, Dahlan? I tried this 3 times. I tried this 5 times and I don't see any change. Change that you can really start swimming in it, that it's almost tangible, touchable. You need to put in the work. That is one thing. Nothing changes from one single action. Because once you take your first step, you also need to become, let's say, an expert at those steps. The more you repeat steps, you will adapt to it. That's why it's also important, I think, just to start. Not wait for the best or the most perfect moment, that you feel the best. And I think that you should start when you feel the worst, because then it only gets easier when you feel good. And and again, when it's about my vlogging journey, you can see my first vlog, it's ridiculous. So now I'm still looking at my shorts and I think, yeah, okay, I created this, and yeah, or now my shorts actually gonna be more unique pieces of content. Before it was for the long form, and I did it with CapCut, and it created the shorts, which I'm also not going to do anymore. But when it's about giving compliments, let's get back to this, you have to start with one per day. Maybe the first 7 days, 1 per day. Stick to it, just 1. And like always, what I also always say, you know, don't start straight away with 10. Put a lot of energy to it and then feel very bad about yourself, and then you don't do it anymore. And everything is pretty much the same in life. It's the same with exercise. If you do all of a sudden 10 kilometers the next day, you're so destroyed, you're not gonna do it. First, start with 1 every single day, building the rhythm, the character, the habits. So for example, you want to get into this other universe, where you don't feel stressed, where you don't maybe that you're not overweighted, maybe where you live a happy life with your spouse. Maybe you need more freedom in order to do so, maybe, but you have to figure this out for yourself. But to figure out where you at in life comes back all to face reality, right? Just start writing down, and I'm just giving you tips how I come to this state of mind. Do I live the perfect life in other people their eyes? No, not yet, but I'm also not showing everything. But you know, when it's also about the vlogging, I'm not in a hurry to show people all the stuff, you know. I take my time for it. So that's another thing. I take your time, but slowly, bit by bit, every single day, start writing down. What do you eat? What kind of habits do you have? Negative, positive, according to yourself. Judge yourself. Be very ruthless, realistic to yourself. You cannot go into another universe while you don't know where you're really at. And when it's about universes, because I watched videos about this, but it sounds all like, you know, very difficult stuff. But it's not so difficult. I'm narrowing it down because I can, because I've been there, done that in multiple layers of life. You know, there were times that I didn't eat for 4 days, didn't have a roof above my head, had to hide my suitcase to at daytime look for water and that kind of stuff, and a place for at night, because when you're on the street you have to think about wind, you have to think about rain, you have to think about stuff, very detailed stuff, because, and I always was pretty good at it actually. And the thing is, I'm just telling you, and I found moments of peace, because I knew where I'm at and I knew where I was going. No matter the adversities, I only saw everything as a test. And I got another thing on top of this, and I'm gonna tell you which one it is. My two adoption parents who I never met, gone. My my adoption parents that I never met, my biological parents that I never met, and my adoption parents, they are gone. And this is always what I think. If I give up 1 single second, and I would cry in the corner from, oh my God, I don't know where to go, I disappoint them. And that's the last thing I will do for myself. To be very honest, if I go off the planet now, who would care? Would I care? Do I have a suicide wish? No, not at all. Because I'm busy with the website, by the way, on Dotcom. I give everything away for free. I want to serve as many people as possible for free, with giving away the strategies that everybody can use on their mobile phone to start living a life of freedom. Even if you would do a tiny percentage of what I'm doing, then you're good. Even if you would do 1 hour per day, maybe 30 minutes per day, I'm narrowing down the amount of time, setup time, deliverables. And when it's about business, I start narrowing down the deliverables in such a short amount of time that I could almost give them away for free to businesses. For business it requires a little bit more, but for individuals as yourself, or maybe you run a business, small business, self-employed is, in my opinion, not a business. It's just, you know, you found yourself a job and you invested in your own job, which is great. You're doing more than the average person. But for those people who don't have this huge marketing budget or anything else, I'm giving everything away for free because I've been there, done that. I started also with a self-employed thing, business model. Even also with a business partner, 2 business partners. No, not necessary anymore these days. And I'm giving you this piece of knowledge, multiple pieces of knowledge, and I give you the strategies to automate a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna explain everything on the website only. Over there, the YouTube videos will be unlisted videos, so you won't see them in a playlist here on the Dotcom, but only on the website you can watch them. Why do I do it like this? Because like this, people have to take 2 actions. Go to the website, share the web page. Like this, you will get access to the free strategies, and trust me, there's a lot of value in it. I live the life, and the thing is, I'm just showing you a tiny percentage of my life. Anyway, besides that, if you watch my vlogs, you can see that I probably have a lot of time. It's called freedom. I get freedom, people. Which one do you prefer to be? The guy in the big suit, lease car, wife that doesn't pay attention to him because he never built a character. By the way, when you get a lease car, you know, you never put in the effort to bootstrap, let's say 100 grand for that nice car. You know, you just lease it. That's nice, but again, you dance to somebody else's in somebody else's ropes, you know, like a puppet master. You take a loan from the bank, puppet master. This whole vlogging journey is all based upon bootstrapping from camera, selling the camera. The first camera I sold, then I could go to buy another one. This camera is with a little bit flexibility in between. All those strategies that I'm using for single journeys to bootstrap them. Not only you will stay totally independent from any kind of other person who watches you on the sideline, who becomes actually your boss, you know, you don't want that. You really don't want that. And I'm sharing the strategies on Dotcom, but on Dotcom. At the moment the website is under construction because I'm totally refurbishing the thing. I'm doing it personal. Don't take some kind of designer for that. Just keep it raw, unedited, and just functional. You know, you want to change your future, you want to put in the work, you need time for yourself. Not go to a 9 to 5. Over there you're on automatic pilot, and a lot of people who are going into this rat race, but I also noticed, and I'm gonna tell you, I lived in multiple countries, so I know, I have seen it, and I've seen it from multiple stages of life, from 18 up to 60 years. I'm speaking with a lot of people, so I can make up some sort of hard, quote-unquote hard statistics. People lose their will to actually put in the creative mind to actually solve the problems, because you go to work, you stand in the traffic jam or in the bus, and you go home again, and that kills your mind. And most people, the majority of the people that I talked with, they say that they're tired, they're fed up over here. And no matter if you would recognize it, I'm gonna tell you. And if you recognize, and you may be one of those people that you think, yeah, I feel brain dead, I feel brain fogged when I'm coming back from my home, from my work, and I don't want to put in the work anymore to do the 1 hour exercise or the 1 minute exercise, what I said, because you're brain fogged, you're running around. And the thing is, yes, maybe you make 3 grand of I don't know what, maybe you make 6, doesn't matter. There is no price tag on your life. I don't, let's assume you make 3,000 a month, so you are worth 100. Your time on this planet is $100 worth. It would be even better if you make $25 per day and you got all the freedom, and you can start working on your future, and you can start working on your character, and you can start planning this and this. And yes, a lot of people do have responsibilities, but you know what? You live only once. And that's why I talked also in one vlog about, instead of going on a holiday to escape reality because your spouse wants this and the children, spend that 2 weeks that you have a holiday, 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day. Let your spouse, if you got a spouse, cook for you, just feed you, make an agreement together and say, hey, I want to change this. I don't want to work for my mortgage. I don't want that you work anymore. I don't want, you want change. So first, if you want to change, write down where you at now. And it's not all about budgeting and all that bullshit. Yeah, you need to budget, but I believe, I'm a big believer in where you at now in life. I write down everything. And also when from running, see, at the moment everything is so embedded in my character that I'm constantly focused on growth. If I consume something, so for example this morning I eat eggs with 2 pieces of bread and some sirena, the Bulgarian cheese. I'm in Bulgaria, Sofia, Bulgaria. The thing is, why? Because I want to have a little bit salt, I want to have the calcium intake, I want to have the little bit of protein thing, and 2 pieces of bread to maintain a little bit extra energy, because I'm going for a 10-kilometer run now after this talk. So I always ask, where's the benefit? There's also a reason that I don't watch television. You know, that I am very, very obsessed with everything. And I think I'm a very good example of how you should not live, at least my past, because I did everything totally out of control. But now at 46, I'm incredibly obsessed with growth. I want to help a lot of people to give the middle finger to their boss, etc., etc. So that's why I'm sharing this kind of content. And along the way, when you grow, when you take the strategies from my website for free, you will run into different kind of situations, especially when you get more freedom. What are you gonna do? Look at my videos, the calisthenics thing. You work on your body, your mind. I speak about how to keep your circle clean, how to clean up your circle, because all those problems, they don't exist if you're in a 9-to-5 race. You got colleagues, you got your 9-to-5 thing, you have to beg for your holiday. That's it. And I don't believe that people are made for this. Some people are very good at their job, but I think people who are good at their job, they will be better at doing everything for themselves. Because people who are good at something, they can also do it for themselves. And I'm talking about, and I'm saying this because I had a conversation maybe a few weeks ago with a person who works for a marketing company. The things that he said sounds pretty logical, although I would do it a little bit different, but you know, he's doing it for another company. But I think if you're really that good, let's say in marketing, he could better do it for himself. Just saying. But the thing is, there is a little tiny thing. It's called, do you trust yourself enough? Reality, where you at? Write down your skills. If you ask somebody, what are your skills? What are you really good at and what are you passionate about? Most people don't know. What I'm passionate about, growth in all kind of segments of life. Mostly mentally. Mentally is number one. Character. There is a reason for that. I'm training every single day. Do I want to train every single day? No, not really. Now I'm going to do a 10-kilometer run. Do I really think like, yes, Dahlan, you're gonna run again? It will hurt in every single cell of my body, but afterwards I know I feel great. And the thing is, I know my character every single day. I'm doing train. I also talked about, oh yeah, when I upload this video, the other videos, I think, oh yeah, it's scheduled for today. So anyway, yeah, so I'm also talking about my non-negotiable training set on the calisthenics spot. I also show you how you can train without the calisthenics spot and gym. Let's assume you don't have money and or access of anything to anything. You know, I'm giving people all the kind of opportunities and show them how it can be done, how you can look ripped without actually counting calories, weighing proteins. Let's assume you don't have money for proteins. Been there, done that. Not that I need them, because my mind is over my own body. Sometimes I go over it and then I just collapse, but I'm fine with it. I'm obsessed. The thing is, so where was I going with this? So I think there is a future for everybody. There is a different kind of future for everybody. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, just do for the next 7 days, go to the supermarket and say how nice it is. Thank you for the bag, thank you, whatever. And I'm gonna give you an example. I'm going to this supermarket in a neighborhood that I'm having already for more than 1 year, an Airbnb. The people know, because I speak with people pretty much everywhere. And the thing is, the people over there, they know that I don't know what to eat, because I'm always, you know, I'm always busy. And then when I'm after the training, I want to get busy with the scenarios, or build scenarios for automation, and some are very in depth. Or, you know, now today I'm gonna get busy with the server technical part, using AI. By the way, I'm using only Gemini AI. I'm now integrated with make.com, the scenarios. So, but anyway, those people, the only reason that they actually speak with me is because I'm polite. I'm not bragging over here. I'm just giving you an example, a real life example. Everything that I'm saying in my vlogs is based upon reality. Nothing is just, you know, mumbo jumbo, suck out of another YouTube video. I saw, when it's about sucking things out of your thumb from another YouTube video, I saw one incredible famous guy, and probably it was generated by AI, but one of the I'm not gonna get in detail, very famous guy, and he said exactly the words of Jim Rohn. And I'm a big fan of Jim Rohn books, audio, and I read, and I'm still reading every month at least one book of him, but over and over the same stuff, so I know what he says. And I thought, wow, and then the next rule. But anyway, I don't want to go into this. where was I going with this talk? Yeah, I mentioned the example of the supermarket. So try it. There is another universe. But if you want to change your universe, you have to be somewhere, somehow, somewhat. You have to know where you're at. You know, weigh yourself, look in the mirror, be judgmental about yourself, feel bad about it. And you know what? When it's about feeling bad or feeling good, it does not matter. It does not matter for the outside world. I think like this: the worse I would feel, the bigger the character I build, because I'm keep on doing what I have to do in an absurd way. You know, today I actually only slept 4 hours because I was so pretty excited. I was very excited and still excited about the vlogging milestone. I bought now yesterday this GoPro, but I bootstrapped it. It's not like that I'm taking money out of my pocket. I bootstrapped it. Which had multiple positive outcomes. A VPS update. VPS is for the hosting, so we go to a faster hosting environment, which also allows me to install the apps, which is not possible because the hosting environment is too small. So I always bootstrap stuff. And you know what? And if I would take a loan from the bank, you know, you simply add another master to your life. You don't want this. The thing is, try to figure things out. You know, I've been there, done it. And also, you know, when I knocked on the door to clean bicycles, I did this for a very tiny period, and then I upgraded pretty fast, cleaning also cars. When I was 11, the first time that I knocked on the door, I only had a sponge. And I asked the people to actually, do you have a bucket? But I also offered the thing, can I wash your bike for 5 gulden? I'm from Holland. I was raised in Holland, so over there in the past you had the gulden before the euro. And the thing is, I bootstrapped it along the way. I'm also gonna tell you this. So at the time that I was cleaning bicycles, we went in the summer on the Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays to the to the fun fair, because at those days people were in the evening drunk and lost a lot of money under the swing. And after the swing was done, I was, you know, around it grabbing a lot of 5 gulden coins. You know the 5 gulden? Yeah, you don't know if you're not from Holland, but the 5 gulden were nice, thick, yellow, goldish, bronze colored coins. And I do remember the feeling that, you know, the drunk people, they were swinging and they were kicking each other in the bucket. You know, that is around, merry-go-round, I think that's the name. But those drunk people, they were always kicking each other, and people held, at that time there was only cash, mostly only cash, so that was perfect for people like me to go under it when other people drunk and kick each other the cash out of their pockets. So yeah, just to give you an example, how can you change your environment and your whole thinking? People also asked me, how did you come up with this actually? Because I was raised in a village. Actually, I was always judged by my color, although, you know, and still over here also, but not so Spartan as in the beginning when I came over here 16 years ago. But the thing is, we're not getting into the color part, but where was I going? I lost already again my thought. I got the 5 gulden. Yeah, just figure out things. Is it all about money? No, I'm just giving you a little bit an insight about my background, and it's only a tiny percentage. And every time when I mention or give some tips, it's based upon, you know, input from the past. The past is the past, but I learned a lot from the past by evaluating a lot of things from the past. Not that I'm drooling around in the past, oh, it was so bad and all that kind of stuff. You know, I also told once in one of these vlogs, in the vlogs, not in the series, that, you know, I had a few weeks that I had to go outside the home and then we had to sleep somewhere else in some kind of department with nutcases. And the thing is, over there at night you had to fight for your pillow. See, the thing is, from that moment, and I'm gonna tell you what my thought process was, and I'm in peace with everything, so I'm not saying anything just to get attention from the boo-hoo thing. No. So I'm giving you a little bit of insight. So when I came out that place, and also I'm gonna tell you one other story. When I entered the elevator, I was 8, I think. When I entered the elevator, one of the guards came with me and grabbed me, and he said, you have to stop being colored. He said it very much worse, but you know, and I didn't understand it, but it changed something in me, and I became very into myself. Until I was 11 and 12, I'm very into myself, in my own world. After that, other things happened, and I became incredibly aggressive. But I'm just sharing. Wait a minute, is the camera still working? Yeah. So once in a while I drop a little bit something about my life, so you understand that things are real. I'm not speaking like from a book, or that I'm imitating other people on YouTube, because there's another thing. There are famous brothers on the YouTube, in the YouTube scene. They knew their father, they knew their mother, and they know their mother. They never been, let's say, alone. Yes, they can say they have a lot of adversities, they're multimillionaires, but they never been alone. Cut away everything. What is left? Of course they will maintain. Everybody will maintain, and probably they will do good, but I'm just giving you an example. Nothing can be assumed until it's proven. Me, if I now give up, sit down and cry on this chair, and also the environment over here now, you know, it's not the most glorious one, but I don't care. I speak from the heart. And this is, I think, also a reflection about the way I think, because I said this also in other vlogs. I could sit poolside and drink a cocktail and make everything look good, sitting with people behind me and after me and next to me, and I don't know what. You're not always, no matter how rich you're gonna be, you will have time alone. You will. This is real life. Breathe it. It rains. The rain cleanses the spirit, right? That's how I think. And this is one of that is mentioned in scroll number 8, I think, The Greatest Salesman, by O.G. Mandino. There are 10 scrolls in that book. Change your life. I'm not getting into this one, but let's get into this one, because if you want to change your world, your thinking, you have to start manipulating your subconscious, and that's what those 10 scrolls do. The pre-story, I never even read it. Those 10 scrolls, each scroll stands for a characteristic that you want to optimize in your mind, your character. And the thing is, when you have to do each scroll for 30 days, morning, daytime, and the evening. In the morning you just read it for yourself. At daytime you do a little bit, you read it a little bit, and before you go to bed you read it up loud. And like this you brainwash your subconscious while you're sleeping, because in your sleep a lot of things in your subconscious, at least that's what they say. But I do believe in brainwashing your subconscious, and I think it's also part of, you know, squeezing and crushing your character. You know, do all the things that you don't like to do, but they bring you to somewhat, you know, a better character, a better physique, maybe a better financial outcome, a better financial, how do you say this, a better financial circumstances, I don't know. But also having that you also become more valuable. So if you would go to my website after a few, I think after 7 days everything will be aligned, and then, you know, you become more value. You will consider this, think about this, stick with me for a little moment. Whatever you do now, you have a phone in your hand because you're probably watching me on the phone. What if you know how to make money with this phone? Not in the trading all that normal people stuff that you don't build assets. All the things that I'm doing, all the actions that I'm taking are compounding action. There is nothing that I'm doing that doesn't have a compounding effect. With compounding effect, I mean you build something, build character, build physique, build a fundament for a possible business that's gonna explode through the fucking stratosphere. And in your case, if you still work for a boss from 9 to 5, then you start making yourself more value. And do you think once you have a couple of strategy in place and it generates, you know, say the lowest level, don't talk about 50,000 a day, let's say $10 a day, do you think you can upscale it? Oh, definitely, because I'm giving away those upscale strategies for free. So you can automate, but what I always say, man, do it first manual so you understand each step before you automate. Because if you start with automation, you don't know what is in the process going wrong, if there's something going wrong, because you always need to optimize along the way. This is the same with the vlogging, the same with the training. You also have to do what fit your current state of mind. That's why I'm also so many times hammering on do all the things you don't want, just build that character, because things get difficult, things don't get easier. And if you like that things get easier, you're not focused on growth. A lot of people who tell me that they're focused on growth and they want to have prosperity in their life, trust me, walk around with me a day and speak with me for 1 hour and train with me for 1 hour, you will say, I'm not so much into growth anymore. And I'm not saying this to brag, there are levels to the game. And yes, I'm also aware of when I'm doing my runs, 15 kilometers, 10 kilometers, and then I think about this carry the boats guy. You know, he does a 200-mile run. Am I going for a 200-mile run? No, not yet. But when I'm feeling tired at 7 kilometers, then I think, wow, this guy does 200 miles, which is around 350 plus kilometers, what I'm crying about. So I'm using that kind of things as fuel. Maybe I'm never gonna run a 200 miles run, but I'm using it for my running thing. If I am in pain, let's say in my legs or whatever, I'm every day in pain, but I don't care. The thing is, I think about those speeches of those veterans, and the limbs got blown off. I do have still this, and those people speak about it, and they, you know, they're way much stronger, because there's a lot of things that I never will enter, probably because I will never go to war. Okay, never say never, but the thing is, probably high likely I won't. But the thing is, you know, I cannot share those things. I can only share things like what I'm sharing, you know, do things from the phone, become totally independent, freedom on a very high level, and I'm gonna be more and more transparent about a lot of projects, because I'm very calculated with this, because, you know, no, I'm not gonna go too deep in this, but think about this, you know, always think a little bit more about the more extreme people. You know, do I ever want to run a 200 miles run? I cannot imagine the level of how proud I would be at myself, because at this moment I cannot even imagine, you know. And I'm increasing my runs, but I also do understand that, you know, I also do everyday calisthenics. There's no days off. Maybe if I would take 5 days off, I can do, you know, start with doing 35-kilometer runs. But for this I also need other shoes. I also noticed that. But that's another topic. So that's why I'm sharing background stories. That's why I'm speaking about, the levels of what I'm now in operating. And at the moment I'm still in the upscaling phase. I built, and the last time that I lost everything when I was 41, rebuilding everything. I took my time to rebuild everything. And I also took my time to build a network that is solid with similar mindsets that don't have excuses, mindsets that just walk the extra 10,000 miles. And if that extra 10,000 miles that we already walked, we need to walk another 10,000 miles, that wouldn't be a problem. I know. And that's why I'm sharing my red flags moments in my vlog, so you don't surround yourself with losers. I surrounded myself with a lot of losers in the past because I was blind. Nobody gave me the pieces of advices, you know, to actually open your eyes, be hard on those people, cut them off like cancer. And I'm not saying this that those bad people, but some people are not made to grow. They only here to consume, take, consume, take. And I'm also not saying that those people are wrong or that they're selfish, not at all. Those are a different category of people. I'm speaking to the people in my vlogs who want to do more in life. And for this, you cannot listen constantly to negativity. You can, but you need to build that elephant skin to resist that, and also to keep it out of your subconscious mind. See, I am very, very, very simple about this. See, people now, also new people, they watch maybe 1 or 2 videos and they know how I think. The people not, and if they come to me with problems, they know, mention once or twice the problem, but then come up with solutions and also show me improvement. If you really still don't know what to do, then I'm willing to say something, but don't repeat 4 or 5 times your problems, because you also don't want to be used as a mental negative garbage can, and then they walk to the next one and they do the same. Some people just thrive on the fact that when they think that something is bad, they need confirmation. You know, everything that you speak about is over here settled. And when people talk a lot about their breakups and all that kind of stuff, I know they're not over it. And they also admit, I'm just very open, listening to everything and everybody. Nothing is crazy enough. I'm also going to tell everybody who knows me from multiple conversations, they know nothing is crazy enough. I'm never judgmental, but at one point you have to be realistic and face it. When I speak about my exes in the videos, I'm just talking about specific characteristics that they had. When I mention moments where I didn't act like I would, the way I would act now, I'm just telling those situations to learn about it, to learn from it, so you don't make the same mistakes. You know, I also mentioned before that I was, let's say, with one of my, in the beginning, you know, maybe my second long relationship, I wasn't emotional mature. I wasn't ready for, let's say, love. I think the longer relationship, there were good people. Yeah, I'm saying that. Like I also many times mentioned, I got nothing against any of my exes. Even last year exes, and from this year I also got nothing against anybody. I just learn from them, move on. And the thing is also, when I would bump into them, I don't have any weird feelings. Things don't get awkward. We do a coffee, that's it. If we don't want a coffee, that's it. There is nothing. See, I live over here in a place of abundance, because, yeah, you probably understand, I'm pretty much everywhere. I got all the freedom. But does that mean that I want to live the rest of my life like a single person? No, I'm just taking my time to find the really right woman, the really right person that I can sync with mentally, physically. I think both things should be in balance. You know, I went a little bit extreme with all kind of things, mentally and the physical parts, but I'm very honest about it, and I learn from it, take away from it, and for the next one I'm the better version. And I do believe when you would think like this, you will also run into people who are, you know, more mental mature, maybe more physical developed. You know, physical development, you know, my requirements are very simple: high energy, treating people, animals with respect, and that comes with a lot of other benefits, sub-benefits. And high level energy comes from a lot of attention, hygiene. People with low energy, you know, have different levels of hygiene and paying attention to the outer world. There are also a lot of people who don't pay any attention to the outer world. Are those bad people? No, not at all. Would they fit me? No, definitely not, because they also would be irritated by me. So when you also think about this kind of spouse would not fit me, it's not about that they are bad, I am bad for them. I'm not good enough. But that doesn't mean that I'm not good enough as a person. I simply don't think with that category. And I think everybody should think like this, consider to think like this. If it didn't work out, don't dwell in it. There are so many people on the planet. The only thing that you need to do is, what do you want? What do you look for in a spouse? What can you do to increase the value of yourself that actually is gonna attract that person? And that's it. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple. You do it or you don't do it. There's nothing in between. That's how simple life is. And do you need to repeat it? That's where it comes. You have to do it over, get better, do it over again. Like me, you know, I lost 3 times everything. Do I feel bad about myself? Oh my God, you're such a failure. I have to become an alcoholic now. No. I'm actually pretty grateful for it now, because I can speak about it to the young people, maybe even also the older people who never had the chance of actually fail so much, and or had the courage to fail, and or, you know, to fail in the eyes of the so-called loved ones and or friends, because they don't care. I always think like this: ask a person who has a normal life what they ate exactly at between 9 and 9:30. Just an example. Most people don't know. The majority of people don't know. So do you think that they're gonna remember your little tiny failure? No. At least this is how I think. And that just keeps me, you know, balanced. And other people, their opinions don't distract me at all anymore. I used to be sensitive for it, big time. But now I'm just using these techniques. You know, I think, and I'm sharing those techniques. Really think like this. Most people do not remember what they did between a specific time, this and this. Maybe they will remember your failure, but that does not mean that they can in any way influence you, your behavior, if you don't let them. Unless they stab a knife in your back. See, then things become you know, physically difficult. But that's a whole different story. The thing is, you understand what I mean. As long as it doesn't get to the physical part, they don't influence you. And the thing is, another thing that I always keep in mind, negativity always comes from bottom feeders. You can guess somebody's income by the way they speak and their negative behavior, if it's negative. And again, this is not judgmental, you know, because negativity, when they're in groups, is not labeled as negativity. You know, when they sit together and talk negative, according to me, as a nobody, they think it's all good, and then they leave each other. But somehow everybody doesn't know, subconsciously or consciously, when they walk away alone, yeah, this was not the best meeting. Whereas I need distractions. TikTok. You know, think about it. What is your behavior after when you meet people? Not even your feelings. And feelings can also be misleading. I think your habits, you know, the moment that or maybe even you're in the meeting and you play with your phone, you both play with your phones, or you're with 4 guys or girls and you all play with your phones. What is the whole meaning of a meeting? Do you need each other, sit with each other, and then in the meantime chat with other people? I never sit with people unless they have to do a little bit business in between, but always apologize. You know, that's respect. But that's a whole different conversation. But that is my boundaries that I set, that so I don't feel irritated. Because when people would do it, I feel irritated. It disrupts my day, because I know I'm not at the right spot. I made the mistake that I let this person around me, which waste at least an hour of my day. My day has 18 hours. Today it has 20 hours because I only slept 4 hours. But the thing is, if somebody wastes 1 hour of your time, you never get this hour back. 16 minutes. 60 times 60 seconds is 3600, I don't know what, seconds? I don't know, I'm not a very quick calculation guy. But anyway, think about it like this. You know, what if you, let's assume you got 1 hour, you're irritated by this person. You walk out the restaurant or whatever, out of his home, her home, I don't know where you're sitting, you get under a bus. Very tiny the percentage that it would happen, but the thing is, what if? So, you know, value your time. You don't get time back. I lost a lot of time, but do I see it as something, you know, on idiots? And yeah, because I let them into my life. And do I see it as something negative? No, because that's why I can now share from real life experience the red flags. Everything that I'm saying in my vlogs are based upon my own experiences. Nothing is dragged out of books or other people's stories. No matter how Spartan the stories will be in my vlogs, because I'm building up. And you know what? I'm also really taking my time to build up. And at one point, and some people start seeing maybe the value of my vlogs. Maybe when I'm dead, people become famous, right? Some people, a lot of people, right? Van Gogh and I don't know what other kind of people, I don't know the names. They become very famous once they're dead. Or their artwork increases in value. Because, you understand? Anyway, change your perspective on life. What you got now. You know? I'm gonna give you a very nice example. I'm looking at the ground over here. You can focus on the concrete or you can focus on the green. I prefer to focus on the green. And then I'm doing this now real life example again, that no matter what the circumstances are. And once I was sitting, no, multiple times, you know, outside on a bench with my suitcase, homeless. The night was coming, but you know what? Even though I was hungry, exhausted, cold, I was feeling very at peace. Because, first place, it couldn't get worse. And trust me, it could get worse, it can get worse. I have many situations that it went totally worse. But, okay, at that time, I thought, peace. Breathe in, breathe out, and focus on after 6 hours. And you know what? The night is so long. You know, your mind start also messing with you, huh, when you're hungry. You know, that also taught me another lesson. I value food so much in a way that some people look at me like, you know, what the hell is he talking about? But, you know, if you've been hungry, then you understand this. But just sharing. Just try to appreciating the food, even though you don't have walked the other side. But imagine that it is possible. Show a little sympathy. Say hi to the homeless guy or girl. You know, I always had a sympathy for people who didn't have a home. So, you know, also in Holland, I organized for the homeless people. You know, that they could drink for free at my place. That is a whole different story, but that went a little bit out of hand. Of course, police and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, try to change your life. But first you have to know where you at. Write down. Maybe start with weighing yourself. Look in the mirror. Take your time. Turn off your phone. Look in the mirror. What do you want? Just tell yourself, what do you want? Don't ask other people for the, do I look a little bit fat, honey? No, you look perfect. No, you don't. There you go. Be honest to yourself. Don't ask people for an opinion that quote unquote love you. You know, be honest to yourself. Let your spouse lie to you so you can keep the peace. In order to keep the peace. But, you know, be ruthless. You know, look in the mirror. And am I in some kind of, you know, fitness model or whatever? No, I'm not. But I build character. Let's say it like this. And I'm doing my best what the guy upstairs gave me, or the universe. You know, this is what we got. Optimize it, try to gain as much freedom, you know, the time that you have on this planet before it's over. Be very aware of that it's gonna be over one day, and when you're aware of this, maybe you start valuing your own time a little bit more. And I was always in a rush, but there is also a danger about this, because my you know, when I started out, my ambition was way too high, way higher than my talent, way higher. That's why I also crashed multiple times, alcohol and drug addiction, the whole shebang. So, you know, the habits formed, you know, steered me in multiple directions. But I was always already in some kind of psychonaut. You know, I like to explore things in my mind, character-wise, and also especially groups of people, individuals. Why? I'm always asking why. You know, what would I take from that? I'm always curious. I'm still extremely curious, and I think every year that I'm getting older, I'm getting more curious. You know, I like to study groups. I like to, you know, do a lot of stuff. I just like to look at people and learn from it and share it. And also when I speak with so many people, you know, there is so much to learn from. And, you know, now that I think I'm going to the stadium or to Bojana, and the thing is, you know, it's gonna be here and there a little bit chit chat, and then move on. And then I will probably run into people. I'm gonna buy some water, I'm gonna buy maybe some energy drink, and I speak with the people over there. And then also people who come to me, you know. It's nice. And I'm gonna do video calls. And oh yeah, before I close this vlog, going into the daily live streaming, probably I will do first a little bit of walk around. Let's see where this goes, because I'm not, you know, how to interact with the chat, but also I'm not really aware, because that is the main reason that I bought this camera, so I can look at the chat. I also don't know how I should actually speak, and the way I speak now, it's simply bam. And with the chat, you know, probably I need to read, interact, try to get people in line, that they actually ask me questions, or that they you know, that they give me some directions where the conversation should go. So, you know, I'm trying to touch base with it. So you know, let's say after 50 live streams, it's getting somewhere. And you know, again, you will see me probably grow, or maybe you see me fail. And it's very publicly, you know, I'm not hiding anything. And whether you fail or you succeed, it did something with your character. You took the gamble, you put in the work. That's always something. If you can say about yourself that you didn't put on the work, just be honest about it. Give yourself a slack. Just be very honest about it. I was not putting in all the effort that I could have put in, so that's why I didn't succeed. Done deal. Next project. Nothing bad about that. You know, I think people put also a very weird label on, you know, failing, because failing, I don't believe that you ever fail, unless you crawl up in the corner and give up. I think giving up is the worst thing you can ever do. The thing is, I want to stop this vlog. I tried to stay on topic, and not only this, I hope I gave you a few tips, you know, to change your environment for the better or the worse. Maybe gave you some confirmation that things are possible. Sometimes also when you're busy with something and that you're working and you don't know the outcome because you don't have people around you who can actually guide you, then you sometimes also need confirmation that it is possible, that it is, you know, that you're on the right path. Sometimes you need to look at the signs. You know, sometimes I was a big believer in, at one point in my life, in numerology. So every time when I saw the number 9, you know, then I had a confirmation that I'm on the right path. That was after the first time that I lost everything. I had at that time, my girlfriend still. So what is losing everything? And by the way, if I would have lost, or you would lose your girlfriend or whatever, I always keep in mind now also, maybe this is something also to keep in mind, you never own somebody. Yes, you might have some things together that you build, a house, children, but you know, in the end, you don't own anybody. Everybody leads their own life. And I'm a big believer in this, especially when it's about relationships. I never try to claim anybody. The rules, if you set rules, they need to be mutual and lived by with respect. That's the only thing. If the rules are, you can see anybody who you see, then the rules are clear. If, for example, you have only you kiss with other people, you have intercourse with one, then that's the rule. And when you don't, and you think you can cheat the rules, yes, you can cheat the rules, but you can never cheat your fate. So I know people. One of my exes, she was also, I think, a little bit more out of the. She set her own rules and hidden agenda. But you know, I already played. See, it's very hard to fool people like me, and I'm really like I'm treating people the way they treat me. And this is not to get into very negative behavior and or punishing people. No, you have to protect your own peace of mind. That is my main thing. Because if one person disturbs your peace of mind, your vibration towards the world will also be negative. And you will attract negativity. You don't want that. You know, you really don't want to attract more negativity than necessary. You know, let's see it like this. Try to aim for the least amount of negativity, because 0% negativity is never gonna happen. There will be always some levels of negativity. I have been in very negative situations, but we're not gonna get into this. You know, like I said, in this vlog, then, you know, people hated me for my color for many years. Many years. If I did something wrong, it was always my color. And then in Holland it sounds a little bit different. It's called die zwarte dit, and it means the black. But I'm not black, I'm brown. But in Holland they always called me then this is zwarte. But it was, and I absorbed it in a very negative way, because I was adopted, so my parents were white. They can say, yeah, that is not nice, but they never felt. They also never. I'm not talking bad about them, because my stepfather is over here. I'm tattooed. And he loved the horse, so I got the horse, his birth date, his dying date. My stepmother was over here, so there is no disrespect, but they didn't have the mature intelligence to guide a person, let's say, from my level of energy in the first place, but also not my emotional out of boundary state. And I'm very aware of that. And God knows how grateful I am for that they took me away from there, you know. Otherwise you would also have not seen me on this great vlog. So keep in mind, no matter how worse the situations are, find something good. And even if your situation is bad, don't speak about it, just spread good. Compliments you can give them away for free, and along the way, you know. And I'm gonna talk about one more topic, and then I'm gonna stop. When it's about doing the best with what you got, and now I'm talking about being homeless. When I was homeless, I was always looking for places of water, so I can keep myself clean, hydrated. I can wash my clothes a little bit, always bootstrap everything. I had techniques that it's very embarrassing maybe, but in the middle of the night I went to places that I knew. They always left cookies on the table in packaging, so I never ate dirty food. Just saying. So when I see then other homeless people, I think, yeah, you know, especially here in Bulgaria, there's so much water. You can walk to the Vitezja mountain, and you wash yourself, clean yourself in the first place, clean yourself, and chest, and not to exaggerate. You know, but you know, put your chest up, shave your beard. For 2 leva you got a shaving thing. Do you have money for shaving foam? Maybe not. I don't use, okay, I don't have a beard grow thing, but you know, just take care of it. You can buy scissors or do it with a knife, figure out. And everything starts over here, your health, the way you present. And maybe you're not healthy, your teeth are falling out, but you can clean and cut your hair, you can clean. So I'm always saying this when I speak with homeless people, and especially around Christmas, you know, and then I drink with those people. But the thing is, you know, there's always a way. As long as this, your heart, keeps on knocking, pumps the blood into your everything, your organs, towards your fingers. Just make something of it. Make other people proud, even if they're not over here. Never disappoint them, never disappoint yourself. Anyway, that's it. Today's vlog. Vlog number 143 or 144. I don't know. This is it. Ciao for now.